Hello everybody. I'm going to be reading from my novel, whose title is still The Warning of the Fish. It takes place in 1970s, Tihuatanejo, Mexico. Carmen walked to the edge of the village till she came to the house with a double-arched door. Armando, the girl's father, had built the door when his two daughters, Juanita and Guadalupe, were born sharing an arm and conjoined by the shoulder. It was a double-arched door so that the girls would be able to walk into the house side by side. Neither would have to let the other one pass. Neither would feel dragged in. On the stormy morning of their operation, the shutters of the house were all still closed. The warmth of sleep emanated from the house. Carmen knocked lightly on the door. Señora María Isabel, are you awake? She waited for an answer before knocking again. On the third try, María Isabel opened one of the doors by the crack. What are you doing here? Carmen frowned, confused at the question. I have come to get you and your girls for the operation. Didn't you get my message? We won't do the operation. But the French doctors are expecting you. We decided it last night. Our girls are happy side by side. That is how they were born. But they cannot live conjoined forever. What type of a life will they have? It is decided we won't change our minds. María Isabel came out of the house. She closed the door quietly behind her. Our girls, Juanita and Guadalupe, were born together. It is how God wanted them. It is not our right to change his will. Well, you'll have to tell Dr. Lafont yourself, Carmen said. You'll have to tell him and the doctors that have come here from Mexico City to operate. She realized she needed everybody there. She needed the girls there. That was the job she had promised to do. You'll all have to go. She spoke with certainty. She controlled the trembling of her voice. Let me come in with you. I'll help you get them ready. She pushed the door open and moved quickly, giving María Isabel no time to stop her. Carmen walked into the girls' room. Sitting on their bed side by side, their heads and faces made them seem like two normal 4-year-old girls. Their eyes still had traces of sleep. Below their necks, a wide white nightgown covered both their bodies. 2 arms came out of the sides. The middle arm they shared, hidden beneath the nightgown. Good morning, niñas bonitas. Carmen walked up to the girls and knelt on the floor before them. She caressed each one on their cheeks. Will you help me choose a dress? She opened the closet and pulled out a shirt. It looked like an impossible puzzle. She put it back and picked the dress. It was made out of 2 dresses that had been sewn together side by side. In between the 2, a hole had been cut out for the arm they both shared to come out. The hole looked like an afterthought. When Carmen slipped the dress over the girls' heads, she saw that the dresses were different. Guadalupe's side was embroidered with flowers. Juanita's had birds. She looked up to María Isabel. She wanted to say, you see, they are different. They like different things. Separate them. Give them the freedom to be themselves. What is your favorite color, Juanita? Carmen asked the little girl. The doctors referred to Juanita as the 2-armed girl. With the operation, she would keep the arm the girls shared. Guadalupe would only keep one. In the future, they hoped for a prosthetic, but they planned one step at a time. Purple. I love purple, Juanita replied. And how about you, Guadalupe? I like blue and green and red. Both girls smiled when they spoke. Not agreeing on colors was one thing, Carmen thought. What happened when one wanted to swim and the other one did not? What would they do when one of them wanted to dance with a boy? It hurt her just to look at them. We are only going to speak to the doctor. You know that, don't you? María Isabel said, putting the shoes on her little girls. Armando, the girl's father, now stood in the room too. He was dressed in his worker's attire. He looked uncertain of what to do. Without a spatula to flatten out his cement, without a shovel or a hammer, Armando lost his strength. You just have to go there and speak to Lafont. He's the one in charge. I am only the messenger. You have become so high and mighty, haven't you? María Isabel snarled. Thinking you are so important because you speak their gurgling language, because you wear a uniform. You are no better than your father. You don't see that they are using you, that they are using all of us. We are like animals to them, animals to be tested on. That's how they see my girls. As for you, when they leave, you will be left here with that language and that uniform. Who will you be then? Let us all just go to the clinic. You can say anything you wish there. Carmen, the two girls, Maria Isabel and Armando, began their walk to the clinic. Each of them carried their own expectations and hopes. No one had asked the girls what theirs were. The sky above them loomed gray and dark. The wind pushed them, the humidity glued to their skin. The whistling sound of the wind and the crashing of the waves in the background filled the town and the void of unspoken words. Leaves and petals swirled around them, large and small, each of a different hue. Carmen walked in front, becoming less convinced with each step. Maria Isabel's words repeated in her mind. The cries that came out of the windows and doors took them all by surprise. Viva Guadalupe! Viva Juanita! Cheers for the new futures of the Almas. Families came out of their homes. They waved to the silent family. You are the image of our new Zihuatanejo. You are in our hearts. Carmen, we are proud of you. Thank you, they yelled. Carmen looked around at the beaming faces and smiled. She felt part of the community in a way she had not felt since her father had left all those years ago. She looked back at Maria Isabel and saw her speak. No, she was saying, we are not going to do it. We are just going there to say that we are not going to do it. But the sounds of her words got lost in the wind and in the celebration. No one except Carmen heard her words or saw the shaking of her head. Catalina, who a week before had done the same walk with her son Pablito, was the first to notice. She ran up to her. Don't be scared. You have seen my Pablito. Your girls will be fine too. Catalina hugged Maria Isabel. Then, taking a small statue of the Virgin of Guadalupe from the front pocket of her dress, she handed it to Maria Isabel. The Virgin spoke to me on the day of the surgery, said Catalina. She showed me I was a child of God. Take her. She will help you. Maria Isabel took the Virgin and kissed the woman on the cheek. Thank you. Tears rolled down her face. The rest of the way was filled with cries and hugs, with flowers and gifts. People joined the procession to the clinic, breaking into songs of hopes and faith. Carmen remained the guide, the leader. The mob of song and color was so strong that soon Maria Isabel's fears were whistled away by the wind. Her walk became determined. The girls embraced the merriment and began to skip. Their faces brightened when they felt the love around them. Everyone seemed oblivious to the gray cloud that pushed down onto them and to the waves that roared like tigers in the background. The doctors and nurses stood at the door of the clinic. They looked at each other in amazement when they saw the group arrive. Good morning, Señora and Señora Alma. We are all ready for you and your girls, said Pierre in the simple Spanish he knew. He looked at Carmen and thanked her for having brought them here. Maria Isabel walked to Carmen and whispered, You know, I was just a little scared. I didn't mean what I said. She then turned to the crowd and said, Thank you, everybody, thank you. With tears in her eyes, she led her girls into the clinic.
Bravo.